On.
The Shut Your Mouth Lounge, episode number 316. Would you expect a Stone Cold reference? Stone Cold Steve Austin? Well, you shouldn't, because he's stupid and we all know it. So, there's a pink there giggling in the back.
It is I am here.
Yeah. And I've heard there's also maybe an Addy here.
Perhaps.
Well, we won't know until we find out. So, Pink.
Yes.
Have you done something?
I have not
with your
done
hair?
something. No, not recently.
Ah. Well, I can't see you, so how's I supposed to know?
Nobody would know. I could have lied.
Could be walking in here either with a shaved head or like full long black death metal hair.
got the Carlito afro.
Yeah. All right. So, do you have something coming out on your channel?
Nothing scheduled. I've not gotten around to recording anything in a while. I've not got anything set to upload. So at the moment of this recording, I'm going to say no. I probably don't have anything set to come out. I'll probably have something coming out over the week, but I don't know what it'll be. But for now, the answer is no. There's nothing. Nada.
Alrighty then. Addy.
Well,
Do you...
as always, Kingdom Hearts is going to be coming out on the second channel. Because, Kingdom Hearts.
Very nice.
So that's the thing. The actual review of Kingdom Hearts, that's scheduled for March. That's in the works. I just checked. I wrote so far today. Just today, I wrote 619 words in honor of Rey Mysterio.
That's nice.
I nearly called him Grey Mysterio, which would be mysterious alien.
Old
Yes,
Mysterio.
But yeah, I don't actually know how much I've written thus far. It says six pages, but that's also containing my notes, which is like a page and a half, or not a page and a half, just half a page. So whatever. Yeah, the review is so far has not progressed past gameplay. I'm not even like trying to explain everything that's in the game. I'm just making note of things, and it's like, all right, 3 more pages.
Oh.
Because yeah, like the 3Ds is just talking about the collectibles. The collectibles, let's see, the collectibles are half a page. That's it.
Yikes.
And it's just, alright, so torn pages exist, so do Trinities, so do Dalmatians, and so does Ansem's reports. Here's what they are.
The what reports?
Ansem's reports. He writes
No.
he writes in
No,
his
we're not doing
journal.
this. Save it for the review. We are not starting on the Kingdom Hearts thing because that could last for the whole recording.
I just told Ping everything. He writes in his dream journal. You're committing
God.
fucking federal whatever. Is it a federal crime to read other people's journals?
Possibly. Depending on what country you're in.
I'd have to look into that.
Why, you need to look into it because you've been reading people's journals? You could be in trouble?
Possibly. I don't know. You never know. There are so many new laws made nowadays. You never quite know when you're accidentally breaking one.
That's true.
Yeah,
It's so hard to keep up with it all.
The lawmakers want to do the mix-ups.
Yeah.
Exactly. Get them with a nice 1-2 combo into a leg sweep.
Yeah. And the leg sweep is called bankruptcy. And then they immediately with the prison sentence too. Anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, yeah, the Kingdom Hearts review is coming along. It's coming along slowly, and I still haven't put out a fucking post detailing stuff like this on my actual channel. But hey, it will come out. The review should be able to come out. I have another like week to make it before school starts back up. Which I mean, no, I have 1 full week. The one is starting now. That's yeah. But like even once school starts back up, if I manage my time better, which I don't know how I can manage my time better, but whatever. But if I somehow manage to manage my time better, then it should still be fine, and I should still be able to make videos.
Yeah.
So yeah. And if not, I have videos until June 26th. The Kingdom Hearts playthrough is lasting until June 26th of 2025.
That's quite some time.
Like I made it a purpose. Like once I figured out that like the second to last session is gonna be coming out in September. In the last session, I went, all right. I'm currently recording this on date, just to make sure that people know how fucking long ago those things were recorded. Because fuck. But yeah, so yeah, that's my channels.
Alrighty. On my own personal channel, there will be a intermixture of Phasmophobia and Killing Floor this week, plus whatever else I happen to record. While on the group channel, tomorrow, February 12th, Monday, it will be WWE 2K23 GM mode, as well as apparently chaos in the background over here at my house. On February 14th, Wednesday, Melty Blood Type Lumina Part 1. Oh, good lord. It begins. On February 15th, Thursday, Blood and Bacon Part 7. On February 16th, Friday, Balls.
I'm proud of the title for that one. I thought I really got into the spirit.
On February 17th, Saturday, Phasmophobia. And that is this week.
Very nice.
I have been handed a sweet tea that tastes oddly like peanuts.
Well, that's interesting.
Yeah. Well, anyways. So, the topic we were thinking for today was in specific reference to a clip I saw making the rounds on the tweeters, which was taken from the documentary on the development of Killer Instinct 2013, I believe. And it was an interview with Keats, the pro player / dev on the game. One of the designers, I believe. I could be wrong. But either way, he was talking about balancing the game. And more specifically, that there was an incident that was particularly interesting for a lot of people, wherein the character Jago, who is basically, for those who aren't aware, which is mostly you, Pink, Jago, his gimmick is that he's basically the game's Ryu, and he plays like Ryu for the most part. With the major exception that he can, if he uses his meter correctly, enter a mode where he starts healing over time. And it's pretty rapid healing. And so there are a lot of people complaining about it and saying, this is bullshit. Jago is too good. He wins every match, and any damage I do to him, he just heals back. It's horseshit. And so Keith said him and the other Killer Instinct devs looked at it, and they decided to look deeper into it. And they noticed that the character did well in every single matchup. He didn't have a single losing matchup. And in fighting games, that's not a good sign. So they started to look deeper into it as they figured the healing could not have been that significant to several of the matchups. And as they looked into it, the more they started to realize that Jago as a character is comfortable at every range, which again is not good in fighting games. He's either comfy at long range, he's comfy at short range, or if he's at mid range, he has a safe move that gets him into close range anyway, so he doesn't give a shit. So they made the move at mid range that gets him into close range unsafe, where you could hit him if he went for it and the hit got blocked. And once they announced they were doing that and not changing the healing, there's a bunch of people that were really butt mad and saying, what the fuck, this is not what we asked for. And a month later, no one was complaining about Jago.
Oh.
So after that long setup, what are instances you guys can think of where the fan base was right on that something was too strong or too weak, but they got it entirely wrong why it was strong or weak? Now, the question is, how many examples can we point to for Overwatch, Pink?
There's probably quite a few.
Yeah.
There, Brigitte, she at launch she had all kinds of things about her that seemed a bit too strong, and then got nerfed, and then realized it was the other things that were too strong, and then she got nerfed, and then there were other things that were too strong, and then she got nerfed. Now she's terrible. Nobody plays her anymore. It breaks my heart because that's my favorite character by far, but still.
Did every single healer have that going on?
Yes.
No, they just have an infatuation with nerfing the healers, whether they're competent or not.
I like to imagine that every patch
It's their
note.
favorite thing to do.
I like to imagine that every patch note Blizzard releases like a list of what they changed, and then every patch note ends with nerds and yada.
Yeah.
I mean, they did recently. They did recently, very recently.
It needs to be stopped, the cycle.
No good reason.
He might even get to play the game.
There was a stretch from like 2017 through 2018, I want to say, where like every patch note ended with oh, by the way, Lucio got nerfed in this way. Like every patch note, every patch drop, Lucio gets nerfed in some way. And if it wasn't Lucio, it was Mercy.
See, like that's close to what I'm joking about. But like, imagine if they didn't specify what they nerfed. Just all around, he's worse.
Yeah. Every single nerf that could be made. We've lowered his health. We've lowered his speed. We've increased the time on his reload. We've made it so that the balls take longer to fly through the air. We've increased the size of his hitbox. Eventually, you get to a point where if you're sitting in spawn on the other team, you can just shoot and you'll hit Zenyatta.
Yeah.
While he's in his other team spawn. Yeah. But yeah, Overwatch, I mean, like, I was about to think of, like, the other one to pitch at you, Pink, because I know the games that would be relevant for you for balance would be Siege. But when I think of the disgusting bad balance decision of Siege that springs to mind for me, it's Mute, which is like they weren't even right that the character was too weak or too strong. They just nerfed him.
Yeah. that was the main problem in Siege. It was often not taking into account who was really strong and who was really weak. It was these numbers are not to our liking, we're tweaking them. Were they good numbers? Were they bad numbers? They don't care. It's Ubisoft. They're just tweaking things to tweak things.
We gotta release the characters strong, then nerf them after 2 years. Once people are done buying them.
Yeah.
Ooh. Dead by Daylight. That's one where I bet there's a lot of instances of that.
Probably.
See, this topic requires deeper thought than any of us are prepared for today.
Yeah, that's a fact.
I mean, the thing for me too is that, like, all right, let's see who do I know that people complain a lot about. Akuma, Well, they did nerf Akuma in a way that I didn't like, but I don't know if that's the parts that that people complain about, because I don't generally I don't pay attention to people who complain about Akuma, because whatever. Like,
Any nerf to a character that I play is the wrong nerf.
Eh.
My character is weak. Everybody else's is strong. My character honest. Everybody else is dishonest.
oh, I wish Akuma still had not even back jump Zanku, just neutral jump Zanku. I missed that. Because back jump Zanku you can run away. Neutral jump Zanku is totally just alright, block high. That's it. It's just a different setup for an overhead. But yeah, anyway.
I know in Civ 6 for a while there were, and I'm not too up to date or in the pulse of the Civ 6 community, but there for a while there I heard a lot of opinions that Sumeria was a really, really, really great and slightly overpowered civilization for the science victory. And over the years, that was proven not to be the case whatsoever, because the ziggurat that everyone was hyping up way back in the day is kind of trash. He's a strong civilization to pick, but his main strength, his best strength, was the war cart.
I was just about to ask, wasn't that the thing? Like, it was the cart's capability to bowl over barbarians early?
Yep. You can bowl over barbarians early. You can bowl over allies and enemies early. Like, if you've got a neighbor, they're going to get run over with a war cart. And then the ziggurat that everybody was hyping up as like one of the greatest keys to science victory in the early game was like, well, wait a second. This is providing all right to average science yields, but it provides no housing. It gives you no extra food, so you don't get extra pop to actually work the ziggurat tiles. It provides no production whatsoever. This improvement is kind of garbage.
And
yeah.
how many builders are you going to have that early in the game, anyways?
1, 2, in the
and they're going to have to and they're mostly going to have to be used for farms or to repair shit.
Yeah.
Or get nicked by a barbarian because you have one warrior and he's probably off scouting somewhere else.
Definitely. So yeah, Sumeria was definitely one that there was a pretty quick turnaround, or at least in my experience of what I was keeping an eye on back in the day, of where, oh yeah, this guy is great for science. Oh wait, no, he's just great for early game war rushing.
Yeah.
I'm still thinking of examples, like just going back to Akuma just for one sentence. Like the only time that I can remember that people complained a lot about Akuma and I actually heard it was in Tekken 7, where Harada went, haha, get fucked, and did nothing. So I don't think that answers the question. Ramusha in For Honor, I guess. Ramusha in For Honor for the longest time. I don't know if they fixed it since then. I haven't played since then.
Was Ramusha ever considered OP? My understanding.
Yes.
Not to.
Yeah.
I don't consider myself a For Honor expert, but Aramusha strikes me more as a mute situation. This character is more or less fine, if not a little bit weak. Let's nerf him.
Yeah, so what happened was Aramusha was really strong when he released because people didn't know how to play the game, and also I figured he was a bit overtuned because he was DLC. Then they nerfed him to be fine, which is when we played For Honor. And then after that, people were still saying, Aramusha is a bit too strong in the low ranks or whatever, the low levels. And then the more that people learn how to parry, the more he just stops being a character. So you should do something about the lights, because that's what the new players have problems against, and then give Aramusha a way to open up people. And then Ubisoft made it so he just swings his sword slower, a lot slower, all attacks. So he went from oppressive in the low levels and useless to the players who actually know how to parry, to just all around useless. More or less. And then since then, if memory serves, they did try to give him an opener by making it so you can use ring the bell without without doing the parry stance stuff. I don't remember exactly. I don't know if that worked at all.
Well, I have to ask, like, for what they wanted to do, which was make Aramusha less scary for noobs, they did hit the problem, right? Because Aramusha did become less scary for noobs.
Nope. That's the thing. Like, oh, actually, now remind me. Yes, I think what they did is they made his heavies slower, but not his lights, which were the problem, or something like that. So
yeah, that would be different. Yeah.
Which, like, yeah, I don't remember exactly what happened because this was years ago, and like we don't follow For Honor. Like, we haven't played For Honor in like 7 years. I haven't followed anything For Honor in like 4. So, I don't know what exactly it was because it was a while ago. I just remember that they made Aramusha worse overall, and I don't even think it fixed the issue. Which is the really bad thing, because like, if he was just worse overall, but actually fix the issue, then you can patch in ways that he won't suck in other ways, and it's fine. But it didn't even work. For Honor is the most like perplexing game. No one knows how it's not dead, not even Ubisoft.
Nah.
But yeah. See, like, I don't play enough online games for stuff like the online balancing for it to matter to me. I think is the issue. Because like Siege,
I know there's gotta be.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Because I was gonna say like Siege we've already touched upon. Like Siege did have a balancing issue, but that was more the devs than the actual players complaining. For Honor, we also just touched upon they do the same thing because it's the same company. Street Fighter, I mean, the decision to balance things once a year is interesting, and we'll see how that plays out. But like, otherwise, that's also not something that people asked for.
I asked for it.
All right, you asked for it.
Thank you, Street Fighter guys. I don't remember who develops that. Help.
Konami.
Konami.
Come. The cup cam.
Yeah. Those guys.
Mm-hmm. We do it.
They do it. I don't know about we doing it.
Yeah.
Pink, I don't know if you did the Capcom survey. I expect, like, it's one of those things where like I posted and I went, all right, Pink is either not going to do this at all, or he will do this just so he can ask them to give Cammy a bigger ass.
That's exactly what I did.
All right.
And that's why surveys don't mean anything.
Let justice be served.
Oh boy, I know there's got to be a big one with Dead by Daylight.
There has to be, but it's like the top tier killers that immediately spring to mind. They're overpowered, and we know why they're overpowered, and there's no mystery to it. I'm trying to think of a less overpowered character that was overpowered in a way that we didn't anticipate at first.
It's not a character, but wouldn't the carry system and or the hook camping stuff that they changed clear this, because people complain about both the carry system wrecking their their controllers, and people hook camping, and then what they did was, all right, so you if the killer sees a hook in the first like 10 minutes that he's carrying you, then he will hook you 100%, and the hook camping thing turns on, but only if they don't go like 3 steps away.
I
First.
don't know that I know they changed the wiggle breakout system, but I don't know if they actually changed the times it takes to break out. So I don't know if that's applicable.
I mean, with the wiggle breakout system, the depending on how proficient you are at spinning the stick, you did get out a couple of seconds faster. But yeah, and the hook camping system thing I'm only bringing up because I remember last time we played, Mike explained it to us, and he was like, "Oh, if you put someone in the in the killer shack down in the basement, and then you just go back upstairs, then it doesn't turn on."
Yeah.
I would say, honestly, that one doesn't seem like an accident. That one seems like, yeah, that's just Killer Shack. They wanted it to be that way.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of a specific killer. I'm almost like mentally, for some reason, I'm getting stuck on Michael. I don't know why, but I'm mentally stuck on Michael. Like there's something about Michael I should be remembering here.
Tombstone.
I think it's pretty clear what's wrong with Tombstone.
I guess from a design standpoint, you could argue that Myers is considered overpowered, but not Myers at the base level. It's only Myers with the add-ons that makes him overpowered.
Yeah, but that's every killer. The add-on system is just fucked. I think I've said that.
Yeah, plenty of times.
I'll continue to say it. Myers, like, oh, son of a bitch. There has to be someone else. There's probably something to be said for the general tendency of the Dead by Daylight community being pro-killer and anti-survivor. I think there is something to be said there. Mike's not here. There is something to be said. I think there may be something to be said for several instances. What the hell? Who's attacking the cat?
It's Mike.
I got in the laundry room and she get it out. I didn't think she would because Teddy was sitting right there. So she took the cat on.
I think she might have wet herself there. Oh, no, she didn't. That's astounding. You may want to look where the rest of her path was. So, sorry about that.
Yeah.
The cat snuck out of her room and the dog was attacking her. So, because he's a sweet little puppy. Can't do no wrong. I feel like there's something to be said, though, for the survivor-killer split in general, though. Like, I'm trying to think of, because, there's always the issue with the killers, the killer mains, that they get in and the survivors are either complete puds and you wipe them out instantly, and the killers never complain about that. But, of course, like every killer, you don't even have to be a killer main. If you've played killer for any length of time online, you have run into the highly coordinated flashlight squad.
Yeah.
And it doesn't upset me like it upsets just about everybody else. But it's also a situation where you can look at it and go, I somehow feel this shouldn't be the way it is. But the question arises of what exactly is the problem here? What is the disease here? Because the immediate symptom is it feels bad getting my ass beat with flashlights. But is the flashlight the problem? Is the teammate coordination the real problem? Or is there something else here that's the problem? Because I'm not sure it's the flashlights or the coordination that are problems.
Yeah,
Right?
I feel like
Right.
it's a twofold problem, because there is a problem from the survivor side of, what they get and how it works. But there's also a thing of, like, people wouldn't want to squad up and fuck killers in the ass if killers didn't feel bad to fight against. Half of them, if not more.
I think that as long as there's the capability to abuse your fellow player online, there always will be people who do it, and there will be people who team up to do it. I mean, fuck, you can hop into Rust and, run a perfectly peaceful house, with you and a couple of your buddies, and then a squad of, 10 dudes rolls up and burns the whole place down just because it's funny to burn your place down. So I don't know that it's necessarily... I do agree that there's definitely a lot of times where playing Survivor feels bad because of what the killer can do. But I don't think that I would necessarily blame the victim in this case.
This isn't relevant to the discussion at hand, but I just realized that they still have Slapjack's mask in 2K23, which is
I
Well,
great.
it's probably gonna be in 2K24 then.
It better be.
Win against Bobby Lashley. Ooh. I somehow feel this topic is too smart for us, at least for right now. Early morning me, at least. I don't know what you guys. I don't know what's wrong with you two.
I mean, I've already said my piece. I don't play enough multiplayer games, and the ones that we played, like, once again, Rainbow Six Siege and For Honor are Ubisoft problems. They're not really the thing of people suggesting one thing and then it being another. It's the devs figure out that it's one thing and it's not.
Yeah, that's definitely
that's-
like the major issue with both of them is that they both have the attitude of we won't be listening to the fans for balance. But then the question is, okay, what do you listen to for balance?
Yeah,
And it's either some
Yeah.
hidden statistics that nobody is able to figure out in Rainbow Six's case, and For Honor's case, I don't even know what the fuck.
what we feel like this week. But like
The
that,
wild hair up the ass, I suppose.
yeah. But like that, Street Fighter, once again, like, Street Fighter's balancing is fine for the most part. And then, like, the other games like Dead by Daylight, like, I can't really comment on Dead by Daylight because I hate playing as either side, so doesn't matter to me. I'm not having fun either way, so.
That's because I hate playing Dead by Daylight that I feel like I should have some kind of statement here.
I mean, there is a, like, if you want to get into the nitty-gritty of why I dislike Dead by Daylight with all that, like, I feel like their handling of the asymmetricity, or whatever you want to call it, like the way that the roles are split and how the roles interact with each other, I feel like that's a major part of why I don't like it. So, which does, in a way, loop back around to the flashlight squads, because, that's once again a thing of, like, all right, so they are making the killer unable to play.
Which the killer, of course, gets to regularly as part of his main gameplay mechanics, make the survivors not play.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's basically, like, I think that's kind of what it boils down to, of, like, it's kind of the Hokuto no Ken dribble combo problem of, like, all right, this guy is playing the game, so that means I'm not.
Yeah.
This will go on for the next 30 minutes.
Yeah, I think that's definitely a very fundamental issue for Dead by Daylight, and really for a lot of the Dead by Daylight adjacent games. Friday the 13th was similar. Friday the 13th, at least, is mercifully quick.
Yeah.
Don't worry about Jason putting you on the hook. He's done with you real fucking quick.
Yeah.
Dragon Ball Breakers for the time I put in with it. Similar to Friday the 13th, generally pretty mercifully quick. It tends to be, oh, there's Cell. Oh, I'm dead.
Yeah.
Oh, I've been eaten.
But yeah, like it's a similar thing. Like that is the part of why I don't like Dead by Daylight, and it's a similar thing to like say whatchamacallit, battle royales, where it's like, all right, I spend 30 minutes walking, and then I get shot from a sniper rifle that's like 50 million feet away.
Yeah, I think that's also why, for instance, with shooters, we would generally be more appealed to something more in the vein of, well, let's not say Call of Duty's gameplay style broadly, but how Call of Duty, you die 3 seconds, you're back.
Yeah.
Comparative to Counter-Strike, which, I've liked Counter-Strike when I've played it, and when I've played Counter-Strike, I've generally played against bots, which means I tend not to die immediately.
Yeah.
If I were playing against real people, I would die immediately. And that'd be a problem, because Counter-Strike doesn't have respawns. You just spend the rest of the match dead.
Yeah.
And that was the problem I had in Rainbow Six.
I was about to say,
I don't think you guys got to have quite as much, because you were better than me at that game. But Rainbow Six, usually my role in the team was I died first, and then I would just be stuck watching cams for the next 5 minutes while everybody else on the team continued playing.
Yeah, see, like that's probably part of why I like the deathmatch mode, because like it was fucking nothing to do with Siege, but at the same time it was all right. Here's the Siege map. You can still break the walls. You can still do like most of the things that are not actually character related, because we didn't want to put in the time and effort to figure out how the fuck the abilities would work in this mode, I guess. But if you get shot, you spawn back in like 3 seconds. It's just Call of Duty Deathmatch in Rainbow Six Siege, and I had a lot of fun with that, just because it wasn't all right, anchor down in a fucking room and wait for half an hour for glass to shoot you.
That almost like, I don't know, to me, that like my issue with that was still just that you lost the characters and the gadgets. For me, at that point, it becomes like, well, why not just play Call of Duty? Other than the wall destruction.
That and the file size.
Yeah.
Like, CG 60 gigs, yes, but Call of Duty is 500. So
yes, because like GTA, it kind of has the expectation that it's going to be the only game you play. Because for a lot of people, those are the only games they play. That and Madden.
Yeah.
But with Dead by Daylight, I feel like, I wonder, like, part of it is, like, killers don't like getting looped. They don't like getting hit with flashlights. And I wonder how much of that is related then to the core gameplay principle and teamwork principle of Dead by Daylight being someone has to distract the killer to give the rest of the team time to get the gem. Naturally. And
Yeah.
I wonder how much of that is necessarily a problem versus how much of that is just simply meaning that it's not for us. Because that does get called into question the issue that Mike had from the very beginning, which I don't know how Mike is kept with the game, even though it is fundamentally not what he expected. Mike thought that the game was more about stealth and avoiding the killer, and not so much one player on the team needs to directly confront the killer for as long as they can to give the rest of the team time.
Yeah.
And I always find that a little bit strange, because it seems to me like killers don't enjoy that gameplay cycle, or at least many of them don't. While survivors maybe differ, but how much of killers not enjoying that comes down to being a killer being a power fantasy, I suppose. And how much of it is actually not really a problem with looping, but a problem with something else, I suppose. I feel like we're on the cusp of a breakthrough here, but we're not finding it. We're not finding the sweet spot, Yeah. We're feeling around here, but it's like, it's got to be here somewhere. I know it. I can smell it.
I mean, I guess to hit on the survivor side more, I also felt like the implementation of how the survivors interact with the game was lacking in so many words, because like, the stuff that you do with the killer...
It is a lot of...
Yeah.
It is a lot of hold right trigger for people on controls, or hold left click for people on mouse and keyboard.
Well, not even just that, but I mean, like, you know, the gens, working the gens. I don't know, like, I'm not a game designer. I don't know how they would fix this. But the thing of walk up to a generator, hold down fucking right bumper, and then sometimes press left bumper. It's just
Yeah, that's what I mean.
not an interesting gameplay loop.
Yeah, I misspoke when I said right trigger. That's what I meant.
Then yeah, like that's, you know, I feel like that's yeah. Go ahead.
In that regard, I do want to say, for the time I spent with Dragon Ball Breakers, that was one thing that I thought really stuck out. Was that playing Survivor felt a lot more fun in Dragon Ball Breakers because I wasn't sitting on a gen all the time. It's really more reliant on running around the map, searching locations, trying to find instead the key, which is effectively the equivalent to the generator in that game. And once you find the key, it's a lot quicker to set it up than the generator.
Yeah.
But of course, all this moving around is in exchange for the fact that the killer can now fucking fly and shoot lasers.
But yeah, like, you know, Killer said, I don't know how they could fix the looping and all that stuff, because I haven't played enough Killer. I'm not experienced as Killer. I played a lot of Survivor whenever we played, so I know the issues with playing Survivor. And you know, it's not like Survivor side. It's not really engaging to either you know, look for the effigies, look for whatever they're called, I forget. Look for the gens, sit on gens. Sit on effigies, sit healing yourself, and sometimes the killer shows up and loops, and you start looping, and that's the game.
Yeah, and I think that's a little bit head on there, is that I think that looping winds up being core to the Survivor gameplay, because a lot of what the Survivor does outside of looping is mundane. I think this is part of why the loop has become, oh, the cat just got out from under my bed and she stinks of piss. That's part of why I think that the devs have no intention of really getting rid of, or not getting rid of course, by its 5 or 6 year old game now. Looping is just part of the culture. But, oh god, you stinks bad. I think that part of why looping is there, and looping was more or less approved from the jump, is that looping adds excitement to the Survivor gameplay, where working on gens, you know, doesn't.
Yeah.
And the person here who is being the most silent is the one who has easily got the most time and expertise with Dead by Daylight, which I find funny.
I don't know that I have much to add to this discussion, because you're making valid points and valid reasons as to why you guys don't enjoy the game. But those valid points and reasons and whatnot are reasons why I do enjoy the game and find it fun to play. So I'm not going to be like, well, yeah, but you're saying that and you're wrong, because you're not wrong. You just have a different opinion than I do.
Well, not even necessarily having a different opinion. The opinions co-align, the tastes do not.
Right.
It's
a different experience than I do.
Yeah, this is running into something of just fundamentally, on some level, Dead by Daylight, Addy and I are not the core audience. We were not the intended audience. The idea, you can't have a game appeal to everybody.
Yeah.
People have different expectations for these things. So, you know, at the end of the day, if you wanted your favorite game, like any game any of us have enjoyed has been not to taste for many other people. Now, the delight of the internet is that everybody is vocal, opinionated, and vulgar. And we tend to treat taste as being opinions, and thus say, you know, you're stupid for liking this because I've played it and it was lame and stupid because of this and this and that. And it's always like, there are certainly most cases where people could just be straight up wrong. And it's like, okay, well, that's stupid. You're playing it wrong, or that's not really a problem. You're just crazy or stupid. But there are also cases that people invert it and get it wrong, where it's a taste and they're treated as an opinion. And it's like, well, yes, these are all accurate statements about the game. The difference between us is that I either enjoy these things or view these things as inconsequential, while for you they are lines in the sand that you don't want crossed. You don't. This is where you stop. You don't enjoy it anymore. or perhaps you stopped long ago and you really don't enjoy it, and you just don't fucking like it, even though it's core to someone else's enjoyment of the game.
Yeah, like even outside of Dead by Daylight, we can, like, it's easy to bring up for me because fucking my life has been taken over. Help! But the fucking Kingdom Hearts, W doesn't like the writing stuff that they did. Among other things, W doesn't like the writing stuff they did after 2. I'm fine with it. I don't think that they're good necessarily, but I can put up with it. I understand why W doesn't.
Yeah.
I don't think he's wrong. So, like, even like, that is part of why. Whenever, like,
and like,
yeah, go ahead.
Just to get in my bit on that, like, I don't mind like the hearts, shadow, hearts, shadow, hearts, because like Kingdom Hearts 2 is drenched in that, and I still like Kingdom Hearts 2. A lot of it just comes down to the increasing like feeling of disrespect towards the Disney and Final Fantasy sides of the property.
Yeah, which is fair.
Like, yeah, when I think back on what made me fall in love with Kingdom Hearts 1. It was going on adventures with Squall in Traverse Town or Tarzan in Tarzan World, you know?
Yeah, see, like, to showcase the contrast more. When I first saw Kingdom Hearts 1, I went, hey, that's cool, looking at Sora. Cloud was also there. So, like...
Yeah.
So you know...
And Cloud doesn't look like he does in FF7.
No.
But, he's got the fucked up wing.
Yeah, but I was about to say, like, that's probably my favorite Cloud design still. Like, normal FF7 Cloud to me looks lame in comparison. But yeah. Anyway,
I love Kingdom Hearts, but I also love how Kingdom Hearts and Advent Children around the same time were successfully able to fool everyone into thinking that Cloud is a huge edgelord instead of a dork.
Yes, which that reminds me. I forgot.
Kingdom Hearts 1 Cloud is so fucking edgy.
Yeah, but yeah, that reminds me. I read. I don't know if this is true. I haven't checked the sources, but apparently, allegedly at least, Nomura said that the reason he designs characters like that and at this point is because people clown on the belts and the zippers, who just adds more.
I would believe that for the Donald design in Kingdom Hearts 2 that had zippers on his hat.
Oh, that was in Kingdom Hearts 1 too.
It was? Oh, I guess it was, wasn't it?
Yeah. But yeah, what was I going to say? Yeah, like I guess that's part of why, like, Pink, if we ever do Kingdom Hearts for the channel, which, you know, that's once again, that's an if. But if we ever do, I would only ask of you to play the first 2 games. Then if you like it, we might continue. If you don't, then we don't. That's it. Because those, like, W is correct, and a lot of people are correct in saying Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 make a round story, and you don't need to give a shit about any of the other stuff. If you do, I'll just tell you. Like,
even Kingdom Hearts 1 has a pretty funny, a pretty fun, you know, and the adventure continues ending, you know?
yeah. But then, what was I going to say? Yeah, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. I'm racking my brain here for like specific character balance in Dead by Daylight. I want.
Yeah, me too. I'm trying to think of what I was going to say about the
Michael or Ghostface or Hag or Skull Merchant. One of them I have to be able to mentally point to.
I mean, I can throw out a health joke answer and just say doctor. Balance issue. Walking balance issue, doctor.
And I'm trying not to turn it into just me getting an excuse to bitch about Hag, right?
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, Hag does seem to be badly designed, at least like from a consumer standpoint. I don't know what their intentions were with the character. I don't, like, you know.
I don't think Mike or Pink will disagree with us on Hag at the very least.
Like, maybe they have a clear
Will
design.
you, Pink?
I love Hag. I love Hag.
Really? Really, like even
I
though,
love
like,
Hag, but I will not dissent with your opinion because I do think she's got some very poor design choices
I mean, on
that
the
have
killer side,
not aged well.
on the side of playing Hag, I agree. Hag's a very fun killer to play.
Is
But on the
she?
survivors,
I never had fun playing as her.
sure, but you gotta get used to your hex placement or your little mud placement,
Oh yeah.
your Haglet placement. There we go.
There
But
you go.
as survivor, to me, she presents that problem of the whole "you have to crouch everywhere" thing, right?
Yeah.
Which I'll grant is very unique to her. There's no other killer in the game that you have to play like that. But oh boy, oh fuck, does it slow the game down? Huh. And like Ghostface, Ghostface is just a screwy example because part of it's just like, yeah, but a lot of the problem with Ghostface is just that his hitboxes are wonky. Why?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And like that's not a balance issue, that's a technical issue.
Yeah.
Yep.
Ghostface was not meant to work the way that he works. I would honestly say part of what occurs to me with Ghostface is like, wasn't a big part of his design supposed to be peeking through over cover and over the side of walls?
Never over objects, as far as I'm aware. He only had the peak, like, to the side of objects. The lean mechanic.
Yeah, the lean mechanic. But every Ghostface I ever ran into didn't lean at all. He would just crouch behind you until he got the killer instinct or whatever up, and then he would go for it. But he never took cover or anything like that. But with the hitbox being as screwy as they are, Oh, excuse me. I think what we've observed today is that game balance is very difficult.
Yes.
No, it's
Perhaps.
easy. It's so easy.
It's game balance is easy. Just drag the rare Akuma folder into your game. It will work out.
Like I'm sitting here like looking at Freddy, and I'm wondering like, what went wrong with Freddy? And I'm I don't know.
What went wrong with Freddy? And the only answer that's showing up before your eyes is yes. But like similarly, I guess Wesker.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. What exactly is the disease with Wesker, and what is the symptoms? That is the big question, right?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what we're still working to figure out.
Because that's like Skull Merchant. Okay, last time I played Dead by Daylight, which was some time ago, things may have changed. But last time I played Dead by Daylight, didn't you guys say something more along the lines of Skull Merchant got fucking annihilated?
Yes.
Because she presented a massive, obvious issue of why ever play Trapper or Hag again if Skull Merchant exists.
Yes, because she can shut down entire zones of the map with little to no issue whatsoever on her part.
But if we've nerfed her in just a couple ways, and in doing annihilated her, where now the shoe is on the other foot, why ever play Skull Merchant if you could play Trapper or Hag? Then did we try and fix the wrong thing here?
Yes. Like I mean, just talking as a layperson, it would make sense to say that if we changed one thing and now the character went from being way too good to unusable, then we probably changed the wrong thing.
Yeah. And that becomes the problem with Wesker is like, it's not a secret. I'm not fond of Wesker as a killer in Dead by Daylight. Nonetheless, I don't want Wesker to be garbage. I love Wesker as a character. He's one of my favorite stupid guest characters to see in a variety of things. I love that he's in Marvel. I love that he's in Dead by Daylight. I love that he's just some weirdo going around talking about, mass. What is it he talks about? Addy, don't do the Joel bit. I know you want to do the Joel bit. Don't.
global something or other.
Global. It's something that is deliberately placed really close to racist ideology, but they changed just one word. Because that's
Good
Wesker's
Lord.
entire thing, is that they won't let him be explicitly racist. They just make him really close to it.
Because like the only way that I remember the Wesker quote is the Joel bit of global lactation, but it's
Yeah,
I don't think that's his actual goal.
I want to say like global purification or global sanitization, but those are way too close to being directly racist. But like
Global
I'd love for
petrification. He wants everyone to be turned to stone.
There you go. I have Medusa's tits here. Behold. I've done. Why did I do this? I don't know. Well, now I'm just like the one dude left on a stone planet. This is just kind of boring.
Yeah, the quote is called complete global something. I forget what. Because once again, the only thing I remember is lactation.
Son of a bitch. Either which way, like I'd love for Wesker to just be good, but not fucking excellent.
Complete global saturation, apparently.
Saturation.
Oh, it's funny. I want to say saturation, but I was like, that makes no sense.
Well, it's Wesker.
What is global saturation, though? We're making everything wet. It's raining.
He's turning people. He's turning people into. He's turning people into black goo tentacle monsters. What part of this is supposed to make sense?
He wants complete global saturation of the T virus.
Oh. Good Lord. Yeah. Like, Wesker, the question is, what change do you make to Wesker that does not make him the monster he is? And makes it where he is no longer, utterly invalidating Hillbilly or a couple other characters by his total existence. Though, actually, come to think of it, Hillbilly probably now ain't too bad off, is he?
Yeah, he did get buffed in the most recent patch, so I'd assume.
Didn't they buff him in a really strong way too? Right, they made it where overheating is no longer a nerf but a buff, right?
Yes.
Yes, which is a massive change to Billy that really strongly encourages you to play him the way I always did, which is just deliberately keeping the chainsaw revved.
Always chainsaw. Yep.
Like what even are the symptoms for Wesker that we know though? Because like I've only fought Wesker once, so.
He's high speed, hits hard, puts a status effect on you. If you try to cure the status effect, then he can see where you are. And what's the downside of not curing the status effect, Pink? I can't remember.
If you don't cure the status effect, you get infected and you move 15% slower.
Did you say 50 or 15?
15.
Yeah.
Okay, I was about to say, God damn.
It feels like 50.
50% slower would actually be just click the forfeit button. You're not winning.
Yeah.
Just my forfeit window comes up.
Yeah. Dead by Daylight should have that.
Yeah. Just thinking about that. Like out of those, to me, the ones that feel like they could be changed without completely making Wesker unviable would be the speed, or him seeing you through walls. Because if he wasn't so fast, because like him being fast makes sense, but it's too much.
See, yeah, that's the trouble, is that they have to stay accurate. You have to nerf a character in a way that they're still fun and they still feel like they play as a unique character that fits their lore and their aesthetic, And Wesker, that was always the issue I had with introducing Wesker as a killer. And I think I said this before they even added him, was like, well, Wesker's whole thing is he moves as fast as the fucking Flash. How do you balance a killer around that? Obviously you don't, so Wesker has to not be as strong in Dead by Daylight as he is in the Resident Evil games, or Marvel vs. Capcom for that matter either. But he needs to be fast. That's Wesker's whole thing.
But then the same argument can be made by...
I personally don't think his tentacle lunge is a problem. I think it's a status effect. And every other mechanic that comes with a status effect.
it did feel really unnecessary because it's like, okay, I get that they're intentionally overlapping him with Nemesis because they're the two Resident Evil dudes. Okay, makes sense. They both have viruses because that's a Resident Evil thing. But does it have to work this way?
Because yeah, like once again, like I think his speed and the him seeing you through walls because of the whatchamacallit, the status effect, like those would be the things. But at the same time, for once, or for one, I'm not a game designer, and for two, like most of the things that Wesker does, you can just explain away with the lore of Resident Evil. So like, what do they change? Because like he can't hit less hard because Wesker is superhuman. He can't move slower because he's superhuman. He has viruses, so he has to infect you. Does the virus stuff. Like, you know, the only thing out of those that doesn't make sense to me is him seeing you through walls when you cure yourself, because it should be the other way around.
The virus thing. The virus, I mean, you could make the virus do anything. Like, Wesker can't see people who have the T virus through walls, nor can he see people who have the Ouroboros through walls or what have you. I mean, I've always questioned why they made him have the Ouroboros tentacles to begin with. Because I've said this before, I could swear. But in Resident Evil 5, Wesker does not want to be infected with the Ouroboros. And when Wesker does get infected with the Ouroboros, it's really bad for him. It turns him into a big, stupid tentacle monster that he didn't want to be. And he's not, you know, like what we see in Dead by Daylight, where he's Mr. Cool, still, you know, Mr. Cool, Agent Smith man, running around in his trench coat, yada, yada. His shirt and jacket are off. His sunglasses are off. He is fucked up looking. He has turned into this big black mass of tentacles that happens to have Wesker's legs coming out the bottom, which is funny, honestly.
Yeah.
He is not moving quickly at all. As a matter of fact, he very slowly walks around in circles. Like, it's actually a massive lore inaccuracy to have Wesker just casually pulling out an Ouroboros tentacle whenever he feels like it and then shoving it back in like he's Nemesis. Like, that's not how Ouroboros works.
Also, like, isn't Sheva a skin? Shouldn't people not playing Wesker just not see the Sheva player?
I've joked about that before, yeah. Or inversely, if Chris is on the Survivor team, Wesker can't see the other survivors; he just sees Chris.
Yeah. Oh, to make it balanced, if Chris is in the game, then all Survivor skins are replaced with Chris.
What if Resident Evil 5, taking place entirely in Africa, Wesker nonetheless can't see black people, just in general? He didn't know about the Magini. Like, Excella or whoever other minions would be like, you know, hey, Chris is killing loads of Magini, and Wesker's like, the what?
I guess an inverse, which y'all might have to explain to me how that change happened. Sadako, because I know that she was too good, and then she went to unusable once again. The cycle continues.
Has Sadako not been to every side of the spectrum multiple times by this point?
Yes, and they changed her again in the most recent patch, which actually dropped yesterday. I don't know where she falls on the spectrum this time. I haven't played Dead by Daylight or specifically Sadako or kept up with any of that news in a couple weeks.
You open up the patch notes.
I don't know.
You open up the patch.
I don't know where she falls.
You open up the patch notes. It's escape Sadako a chainsaw. Smiley face.
Yeah. They just transferred all Hillbillies buffs onto Sadako.
If Sadako does a charge at the TV, she comes out the other side still charging.
Imagine. She doesn't even have an animation for it. You're just standing next to a TV suddenly chainsawed by a little girl.
Yeah.
It's like the portals in Portal. She keeps the momentum.
Be glad that Sadako cannot put the TVs at a 35 degree angle, so she can do TV jumps.
Could you imagine looking up in the sky and seeing Sadako flying through the air with a chainsaw? Like at that point, you just do the Willem Dafoe looking up in terror gif, right?
Yeah. Sadako now plays like Doomfist.
Oh no.
Man, I remember that was the first time Overwatch disappointed me. I thought for certain I would love Doomfist because he's just a big punch dude that punches people until they stop living. And then I actually played him and I was like, okay, it's neat. This is a movement-based character, but like the knuckle shotguns are actually super lame.
Yeah.
I thought
shit.
he would be melee punch man. He was not.
Yeah, no, too much. I was gonna say too much effort, but honestly, probably just on an engine thing of like they couldn't figure out how to make it so melee attacks sync up enough for them to register as hit.
But Reinhardt's a melee dude.
Oh, never mind. I'm wrong. Too much effort then.
Pink, did they ever introduce any other melee exclusive heroes other than Reinhardt?
Brigitte.
I don't know. The mace has got such a long range. It's really more of a whip, honestly.
That's fair.
Oh, you know what? Ulted Genji. Ult Genji is a melee character.
Yeah.
Only in his ult, but still.
So yeah.
I miss when that game was good.
Yeah. I miss when I didn't have to give Blizzard my phone number. That game.
Did Microsoft get them to take that back, or is it still a thing?
I don't know. I haven't checked since.
I imagine it got taken back because I never had to give my phone number to anybody.
No. That's the thing, Pink. If you're recognized as someone who has played Overwatch 1, then you didn't have to give them your phone number. If you're not recognized as someone who played Overwatch 1, like I am for some reason, then you have to give them your phone number to make a new account.
Oh.
And that's why we didn't play Overwatch 2 at all.
I see.
But yeah, what was I gonna say? So do we know what they changed on Sadako to not work and then work too well and then not work again, and just repeat this a couple more times?
I couldn't fucking keep track of the like 3 or 4 versions of Sadako I've been there for. They've entirely changed the whole thing of like, okay, VHS tapes. Do you get a curse for carrying them or for not carrying them? Do you curse yourself by using them or by not using them? The TV, does Sadako get to teleport through them freely? Are they turned off by the VHS players? Are they turned on by the VHS players? I can't keep track of this shit.
Think?
So to answer those questions is at first Sadako release, and she was very, very mid-tier. She had a decent teleport. Her condemned was not really applicable in most situations. And
it's a non-mechanic, that's right.
yeah, it was for the most part, she was just a very standard killer with some fun stealth capabilities, so nothing much to write home about. Then they buffed her a little bit, and not a lot changed. And then they reworked her to where now her teleports, every time she teleported, you'd gain a stack of condemned. And that was the big Sadako change that really pushed her over the edge from being kind of a mid-tier or garbage tier to a kind of a problematic tier. Because she wasn't overpowered in a traditional sense, but for anybody who is just starting to play the game and doesn't know what Sadako's abilities do or what she's capable of or how to counter the stuff that she does, yeah, a lot of players that don't face Sadako a lot didn't know that you have to pull out a VHS tape to be immune to the condemned that she'll spread when she does a teleport. And if you don't have the VHS, she will teleport like every 15 seconds, so you'll be condemned in a matter of minutes. And once you get condemned, you're able to be killed on the spot after you go down. So yeah, that Sadako buff made her very much a quote-unquote pub stomper for the uneducated. And then they nerfed that back to where the condemned build-up was not so strong anymore, but still somewhat there. And apparently that was still a bit too over the top, so they nerfed it down a little bit, and then that was apparently too bad. And so they buffed it up again recently, very recently. And I have not played as or faced off against Sadako since her most recent buff, so I can tell you what her status is at the moment.
Now she doesn't give you a stack of Condemned. Instead, she gives you a stack of Kane and Lynch.
No! That's worse!
I like Kane. It's Mayor of Knoxville. Show some respect.
Who's the biggest wrestling lynch?
Becky.
That's true, yeah. I'm fine with Becky. I'd rather see a wrestling David Lynch. Nothing completes a wrestling match like abstract horror.
Yeah. I'm just imagining.
No, wait, we've already
I don't
had
know. Bray Wyatt tried that.
That's
kind of
what I was about to say.
Multiple times.
We did get a wrestling abstract horror dude.
And it sucked.
I remember the last Bray promo that I saw. The last Bray segment was him attacking somebody. Who was it? It wasn't Hit Row, was it?
I don't know, because I would have been conflicted on who to boo in that case.
That one, I remember actually that being a pretty good segment for Bray. Honestly, that'd be nice if it was his last segment. Of just simply Hit Row went out there and started healing it up in some lame way because they're Hit Row. And Bray and Uncle Howdy just go, "Oh fuck this," and they just go out. They clean house.
Yeah.
But I remember right after the match with LA Knight, the next promo segment was like Bray says something, then it just shows a sea of spinal cords. And for a second there, I was like, well, this is interesting. Then it went to like some kind of children's show segment because it's what's the name of the children's show version of Bray?
Firefly Funhouse.
Firefly Flamhouse, yes. Yeah, Firefly Funhouse. And just what the fuck? Do 5 different segments afterwards, all in different styles.
See,
and throughout it, I was just like, can we go back to the sea of spinal cords, please? Not that that's a sentence I would say frequently, but...
Like, see, I feel like I would have liked Bray a lot more if he was more interesting to watch in the ring, but also if he didn't come off as a guy who has just recently watched his first ARG.
Yes, that's a big element of it. For me, Bray, like, I would have preferred he stayed with the Swamp Father gimmick and stay out of the ring. Just be the manager for Luke and for Eric.
That would have been awesome.
There you go. Matter of fact, just get rid of Eric. Bray is just the manager for Luke. Like, if Bray Wyatt had stayed Resident Evil 7, I would have been a Bray fan. But he didn't stay Resident Evil 7.
Instead, he became Walton Files. Like, here's the thing. I actually am somewhat aware of like whatchamacallit, analog horror and like dark trends. So I can throw out a bunch of shit.
Yeah, I think you're ahead of me on Pink on that one.
Yeah.
I don't even know what an ARG is.
Bray became the Mandela catalog. The Mandela catalog, the thing you need to know about it is it's a series that's so good that the creator made a parody series that's better.
Yeah,
So like the creator made a parody series of his own series, and honestly, it's about as scary having watched both. But at least I know that one of them is tongue in cheek. So anyway, yeah, going back to the balancing stuff. So why did you think what did you think they nerfed or buffed in Braid too much? I guess.
I may have just come up with an example. I need to pull up the old stats on it, see if I remember correctly though.
But yeah, I guess while you pull that up, going back to the Sadako thing, I guess like the thing from the way that you relate what happened, Pink, it really just sounded to me like the whole condemned mechanic was just a bad idea.
Kind of.
And they didn't know how to make it work. And I don't know,
Yeah.
like I don't know, like I don't know how they would make it work either. It just sounds like not a good idea to begin with.
Ah, there we go.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. Okay, so you guys have played a little bit of Team Fortress 2 in your time, right?
Yes.
Sure.
Oh no, critical shots.
No, crits. Crit that. We'll deal with that at some point. The Tomislav. So, 14 years ago now, they released a big update, the Meet the Medic update, which also made the game free to play. And they released a bunch of weapons for most of the classes, if not all the classes. My memory is not super clear. The weapon they introduced for the heavy, the big old bald fellow with the minigun, was a gun called the Tomislav. Now, I don't remember if either of you guys happen to play heavy. He doesn't seem either of your style.
I did play heavy like twice.
The minigun. Do you remember using the minigun?
Yes, I do.
You have to kick it on first, right? You got to start spinning up.
Yeah.
And it's pretty slow, and it's pretty loud, and it limits your movement.
Yep.
Pink, I don't know if you remember that, do you?
I don't.
So, yeah, that's a core part of the heavy, is that the heavy's main highly damaging weapon, the minigun, it takes him a good little bit to get it started to spin up, and it's quite loud. Once he gets it spinning up, he moves at a much slower speed, which is crazy because the heavy is already easily the slowest class in the game. This is all to make up for the fact that once the minigun gets going, it is rapid fire it's wildly inaccurate, but yet when you're firing that many shots, you can still get people from a pretty good distance. The individual shots do pretty good damage, and the shots tend to cause a lot of hit stop on movement. So characters that are moving at top speed and get hit by it tend to get stopped in place or slowed down a bit. So it can make for a pretty brutal weapon. And they put out the Tomislav as part of, yes, it was the Uber update. Yes, I am looking at the actual update history. Thank you, Team Fortress Wiki. Best fucking game wiki there is.
Yeah.
Still on Wiki, by the way, not switched to fandom. Thank God. Oh, fandom. Yeah, fandom is a thing. So, the Tomislav's gimmick. Oh, excuse me. The Tomislav's gimmick was that it. Oh, wait, hang on. Yes. Okay, sorry. I'm just trying to be sure here that I don't blow my own ass up too much. The Tomislav's gimmick was that it had 75% faster spin-up time. And to put it in perspective, the spin-up time as it was, like, I don't know, maybe a full second or two. And with this much faster spin-up time, it was honestly just that the heavy went from having the gun raised and pointed up in the air to lowering it so it could point forwards. And it was just that quick. And it didn't make a spin-up noise at all. The gun was dead silent as it was spun up. You didn't hear the noise of the barrel spinning, which was quite loud on the other miniguns, but the Tomislav is just basically a... Here, let me get a picture of it. The Tomislav is basically just a Tommy gun minigun hybrid, like the two fucked somehow. And that's how it came to be. That's how guns work, right?
Yes.
Hang on, there we go. There we go. I put the picture in the chat. As you can see, it's some kind of weird Tommy gun minigun hybrid. There's no barrels for it to spin, so there's no noise. And the downside to it, Team Fortress always makes all the weapons, the other alternative weapons, have downsides to make up for the upsides. It's always a side grade, never an upgrade. The downside to it was that the bullets came out at a 20% slower firing speed, so you're putting out less bullets. But when this weapon came out, it was notorious. It was planned to be the ambush heavy weapon, to make it so that the heavy could move around a bit more, that he could run up to somebody, get the Tomislav going almost immediately, bring him down, then get on the move. It'll be worse at the minigun's typical purpose of dedicated, pretty well making the heavy a sentry gun that just happens to be played by a player.
Yeah.
The Tomislav would be worse at that because it puts out less bullets. But it became notorious for being the ninja heavy weapon that you would be walking around a corner and the heavy would just instantly annihilate you. Because, it still does a lot of damage. And people got really fucking mad about this. And what was otherwise a very, very positively received update. People got really fucking upset about this. And they said, get rid of the silent part. This isn't fair. You're supposed to be warned by the sound that the heavy is incoming, and you've gotten rid of the sound. What the fuck are you thinking, Valve? And so, over the course of several patches over several years, admittedly, Valve did not get about doing it quickly, because, God bless Valve, they don't do anything quickly. They did not add any noise to it. It's still dead fucking silent. All they did was they made it where it's still very fast to bring down, but considerably slower, just a good bit slower. It's only slightly faster to use than the regular minigun. You still get the silence, and also they made it a little bit more accurate than the regular minigun. And now no one complains about it. Because even though it's silent, now it's just not, it's not that the heavy gets such a super weapon at instant timing. He still has to prepare it a little bit in exchange for it being so strong. And so now it's just back to pretty well having to treat heavy the same way you treat other classes that can get the drop on you. Because the spy could always get the drop on you. That was his whole fucking gimmick. Soldier, what have you, could get the drop on you. It's just that they didn't have the sheer offensive power getting the drop on you that the heavy did. And now the heavy either has to be a little bit more prepared, which requires the heavy to be skilled, which is, not a lot of skilled players out there, being honest. And generally, if they are skilled, they tend not to play heavy, trust me.
Yeah.
The silence was not the issue. The issue was that it afforded the heavy lightning-fast reaction speed. And that was deadly when put together with the sheer damage it could output. But they did not straight nerf it. They threw on a little buff to go along with the nerf, making it where it's no longer the instant reaction, instant annihilation weapon, but making it where, on top of being silent, so you could be prepared to get the ambush on somebody if you actually took the time to prepare, instead of the notorious strategy of, it kind of became notorious, the jumping heavy, was that the heavy would not only sneak up on somebody, but would then, as he's charging the Tomislav up, would jump through the air, just to make himself that little bit more difficult to hit, which is saying something, because the heavy's a big fat fuck. He's pretty easy to hit. So he became less that and more if you wanted to play that style, you had to wait around corners. And even then, that's like, well, are you just going to camp all day? Because this is not a game where camping gets a lot done.
Yeah.
And it went from being a weapon that was notoriously not OP. It was never OP. It never won matches. But a weapon that was notoriously a pain in the ass for that player on the team who was getting repeatedly ambushed by the heavy, to being a weapon that is perfectly fine, definitely has its uses, but to be honest, most people are still going to go with the base minigun because for what the heavy wants to do, which is be the defining central fucking cinder block of the team who distracts the enemy team by his mere presence, the minigun was better. Partly because it was so damn loud, so it got people to look at him. And there you go. They didn't change shit about what people were complaining about. They just figured out the problem was elsewhere. The problem ain't that it's quiet. The problem is that he can just he can just drop that shit on you.
Yeah.
There you go. I was able to find one. It took me fucking long enough, but there you go. Okay. Well, now the onus is off me. There goes the weight off my shoulders.
Done
Hooray!
finite. I guess that's my answer. The infinite. People complain about it existing, so Capcom went, all right, we'll make it less consistent, but it's still in the game.
The Danfinite is a weird one. The Danfinite has got to be one of the most interesting balance stories I've ever heard of, or seen happen right in front of me. So, Pink, have we ever told you the story of Dan's Infinite in Street Fighter V?
Possibly. There have been a lot of infinites across all these fighting games.
So, Dan's the joke character of Street Fighter, right?
Yeah.
Several times, Capcom actively, intentionally designed him to be bad. They've not always succeeded. And as a matter of fact, there's been a couple games where Dan is considered super good, which is actually kind of tends to be a recurring thing with Capcom. They did the same thing with Sean in Street Fighter 3, where he was fucking rancid awful in one version of Street Fighter 3 and unambiguously the best character in another version. But nonetheless, Dan, when they added him to Street Fighter 5, felt pretty good, played pretty good. Unfortunately, Dan, they found there was a thing that the game players, of course, the players found, which is that his fireball, which is this short, like, it's this little intentionally bad fireball that only, like, when Dan throws it, it gets, like, I don't know, a couple inches past his hand, and then it dissipates into nothing. Well, they figured out that Dan could do, punch, kick, fireball, and because it was so short-ranged, it wouldn't blow the enemy away much distance, and Dan recovered from it quickly. So then you could go punch, kick again, and then fireball again. And it led to Dan getting this absurd infinite combo of, very simply, punch, kick, fireball, punch, kick, fireball, punch, kick, fireball. There aren't a lot of infinites in fighting games that are that simple. Addy has definitely exposed you to enough of the Iron Man infinite, and that's considered one of the easiest infinites in fighting games. You have to press more than 3 buttons for that infinite. Like, famously, as Addy could demonstrate.
Light punch, medium punch, light kick, heavy punch. Then you go
There
up.
you go. That's
then
4
you go
buttons.
diagonal. Then you go up. Then you go diagonal.
6, 7.
Then you calling this bitch? Silent appears. You calling this word that I cannot say? Sentinel.
What? I like to imagine those are buttons when you go into the controls options screen. It's listed as the calling this bitch button.
And the other one is calling this N-word.
Yeah. So Capcom were looking at it, and they went, okay, Infinites in Marvel is one thing. Infinites in Street Fighter is another. We can't let this stick around. At the same time, god damn, is it funny. So, Eddie, What did they do?
So, Pink, what they did is that sometimes while doing the infinite, then just doesn't fire a fireball if memory serves, or it doesn't hit. So something along those lines. Where there's an RNG chance, there's a dice that's being rolled every time you do the punch kick fireball, that the fireball just doesn't work the way it's supposed to make it so you can do it infinitely. But if you get lucky, then you can still do it a lot in a row.
If RNG is on your side, you can keep it going as long as the numbers are in your favor. But eventually, you'll hit the point where Dan sticks his hand out, and it might as well just make a little toot noise. Because he's Dan! And that is the perfect solution to making a gameplay issue totally fit a character's lore.
Yeah.
Because Dan is super cool sometimes, but most of the time he's a fucking loser. That's his lore.
All right, Pink, you're the only one who needs to come up with a change that people a fix that people didn't expect, but it worked for the thing that they wanted.
Yeah, because no one was proposing that as a fix. No one was thinking of that. They were just saying, like, okay, make it where this does it infinite.
Yeah, like there were two extremes. It was either the pros going, don't touch this, I need this, and then and then the casual players going, fucking remove this filth. And Capcom did both.
Yeah.
Well,
In
in
a way,
Siege, in Siege,
Ooh.
there's this lovely gun called the BOSG. It is a slug shotgun. It is exclusive to the two, I believe, Korean operators, Vigil and Dokkaebi. Now, this gun was notorious, because for a long-ass time, and it might still be the only slug-based shotgun in the game, with 2 rounds within the chamber. And it's not even 2 rounds that you can fire consecutively. It is. So think of it, if you've played Fallout and have used the... Oh, which shotgun is it? It's not the Caravan shotgun, I don't think. It's the, it might be the sawed-off shotgun, where you've got the 2 shells that go in, you fire once, you fire twice, then you gotta reload. That's how the Boss G works, the BOSG. So, this gun has a lot of stopping power. One shot from the Boss G will basically put an opponent down and out. It doesn't have a lot of, what's the word I'm looking for? It's a penetrative heavy gun, but not like radius, so you can't use it to blast holes in the walls very well. It's gonna put a nice small hole in a wall, not a large one like typical shotguns. So it basically operates as a sniper rifle.
It's like an actual shotgun.
Kind of. For a long time, there was a specific content creator on the interwebs that was lobbying for this gun to have a ACOG attachment be applied to it. Because at the start, the Boss G had no attachments for it. No scopes, no grips, no anything.
Isn't the ACOG stupid good?
Yeah.
The ACOG is stupid good. So, around...
that content creator's name, what's Darwa?
No!
Oh, maybe, I don't know. But, around the time of...
There's 2 names you can name off there.
I don't know the other guy that Mike hates.
Good question. All of them.
True.
So around the time of Parabellum or after, I believe, the Boss G had some attachments included with it. It got a grip attachment to reduce the recoil, and it got some new scopes added, and not scopes, sights. So it had the red dot, vertical, whatever, those standard scopes that don't give you any zoom, but do give you a better aiming capability
Yeah.
without iron sights, because some of the iron sights in that game are kind of garbage. So once this was applied to the gun, the content creator lobbied even harder to give the Boss G an ACOG. Because that would be stupid fun, right? This shotgun sniper rifle with an ACOG, that'll be great.
Also give it Glaz's ability to see people through smoke.
That would be
Yeah.
awesome.
And then
Months go by. Ubisoft does nothing about it, but they're aware of the meme because it's become a bit of a meme at this point that everybody wants the Boss G to have the ACOG. And so finally, several months down the line, they relent. In one of the updates, they're like, "Oh, by the way, at the very end of our patch notes here, we're giving the Boss G an ACOG. Now shut the hell up. Leave us alone." And that came out, and oh man, what a wonderful game changer that was, or wasn't rather. It was only ever a very funny gun to use because fire rate was everything in that game for a long ass time. I don't know what the meta is now. I've not played it in a couple
You need
years.
to fish for headshots.
Yeah, yeah, that's what the meta was back then. So you wanted large ammo clips with high fire rates. That was the king back in the day. So to have this stupid ass shotgun with 2 shots in it, that if you missed both shots, you'd have quite a hefty reload time. So your rate of fire is garbage, your ammo count is garbage, but the stopping power of the rifle, it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
it's fine thing if you equip the ACOG, it also gives you Glaz's ability to see through smoke. It makes
If you equip
it makes
the
it so.
ACOG on very certain maps, and I'm talking very certain maps that you don't only find in casual, because the competitive map pool is full of cowards, and they don't give us the fun maps like Airplane. Specifically on Airplane, if you take the ACOG Boss G, you go shoot out a small hole in one of the opening doorways to the outside. You could peer down the stairway, and if you saw people running up the stairway with your Boss G ACOG equipped, you could snipe them straight to hell from way up high, just as they spawn in, and just as they go to touch the first step on the stairway. Boy, oh boy, was that amazing. The Boss G ACOG combination did not have a lot of use anywhere else, but on that specific stupid casual map, with that specific setup, you could wreak some absolute havoc, and it was a blasty blast.
I didn't finish all of the things that they added to it. So if you equip the ACOG, you get Glaz's ability to see through smoke. You get Lion's thing where every couple of minutes it just goes off and you see everyone through walls. You get Blackbeard's like launch head protection gear where it never breaks.
Yeah.
What? At a certain point, it's like, take the very worst gun in the game and throw every gadget on it.
Yeah.
You've got a little rubber band gun. Doesn't even do damage. It just annoys people. It gives them the damage notification like thing, the little damage red aura, whatever business, without actually doing damage or something stupid like that.
It does that.
Throw the best scope on it, smoke vision on it, a laser sight.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, you see through the smoke. You set off the alarms. It has a built-in mute, so people can't whatchamacallit, can't drone while you have it equipped. If you're around, just make it the most annoying piece of shit. Deals 8 damage a shot. Deals 2 if crit.
If crit.
In a game where characters do have 99 health for some reason, even though everybody dies in 2 shots.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
But like, I'm also imagining like just loading into a game like that and like, all right, you get a Dokkaebi call. Dokkaebi is not in the game. Someone just has the gun.
Good shit.
And the only person who can use this is the guy from Fortnite.
Yeah.
I'm sure he has an actual name in Siege, but I don't care. It's the guy from Fortnite. Casey or whatever his name is. I forget.
What'd you call me? That's how much I care about Fortnite. That's the effort I put in.
I put in no effort.
Did y'all hear that they not only added Guitar Hero, but they also added Fuser Fortnite at this point?
I don't know what any of
What?
that is.
Yeah, so Pink, not only does Fortnite have a separate game mode where it's just Guitar Hero, it's a rhythm game. You buy the songs and you play the songs in Fortnite as the skins that you bought. Not only that, but they also added a mashup mode.
What does that mean?
You take the songs that are in the game, the licensed songs that you have that you bought, and you can rip them apart. So it's like, all right, I want I don't know, I want the drums from September, and I want the vocals or from Through the Fire and the Flames, and I don't know, the guitar from Blank Space, if it even has guitar, I don't know. Stuff like that. You choose 4 of those, and you can put them together. It makes a new song, and that's the mode. You choose a list of songs that you want to mix like this, and then you can mix and match the different parts, and the game just takes care of the tempo and all that. You can change it too, but the game is supposed to take care of it in the beginning.
Now that's impressive.
So yeah, this was a game that the people behind Guitar Hero and Rock Band, I forget, whatever, one of those. Yes, they made this a game. It was called Fuser. Apparently now it's in Fortnite. Why? Why not? I guess we have the license. We have the licensing rights anyway. Might as well.
It's the incredible thing about Fortnite is that it seems like now they have simply devoted themselves to throwing a bunch of shit on top of the game that seems like it's trying to pull in specifically the people that just have no fucking interest in the core thing.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, I can't say it's not working. I have thought about it at least once in the past month.
Yep. Same here. I don't think it's necessarily for the music thing, but for the Lego thing.
Yeah, see, the
Like,
Lego thing...
looking at
Yeah, go ahead.
correct me if I'm wrong. Is Lego Fortnite not actually like even really Fortnite at all, Battle Royale at all? It's just more or less explicitly Lego Valheim.
Lego Fortnite is, as far as I understand, Minecraft with Lego Fortnite skins. That's my understanding.
See that? And that's what everybody wanted Lego Worlds to be, which it wasn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ah, well. That's the great thing of Fortnite, right? Is that everybody, all of us who like refuse to get in, partly because the game annoys us in some way, or partly because it's just like, it's kiddie. I don't want to be playing a game for kids. We all get stuck looking on us like, man, but I do wish the games I did play had that.
Yeah. I mean, look.
Why can't I have Batman?
Yes. Why doesn't my game feature Ryu from Streets?
Yeah.
Which
If I could
did you see that Alex Lee actually got the voice of Ryu from Street Fighter 6 to do a dub of Ryu from Streets?
Who was that?
No.
Who was any of that?
The voice of Luke from Street Fighter 6 got the actual voice actor, the real voice actor from Ryu from Street Fighter to do a dub of a meme.
I see.
But yeah, like Fortnite looks like ass, like aesthetically speaking. Fortnite looks bad to me. It's not the kind of cartoon that I like, and like battle royales. I feel like all 3 of us just have a thing against the structure of battle royales.
Not for us.
Yeah. But then there's all of the other stuff that they are adding now, and you know, it's like, all right, you know, if we as a group went, all right, we should check out Fortnite, I wouldn't be against it, you know.
Nah.
Not for the actual like thing that sold Fortnite, but the things that they added since. Because I don't think, like, even though zero build is a thing, and it's stuck around apparently, like, I don't think any of us has any interest in just walking around while sniper rifles go off for an hour.
I think I've said this before, but I remember reading about that game in EGM in 2011 or 2012, back when it was supposed to be a zombie survival game.
Oh, that came out.
That came out alongside the Battle Royale mode.
Yes.
Didn't it? If not before.
Yes, it came out a month before the Battle Royale mode.
Yeah. Because I remember when it came out, like Achievement Hunter played the zombie survival mode. I remember looking at it and thinking, like, yeah, this still seems neat, but it lost the like. What I remember was way back when it first was being shown in EGM in 2011 or 2012, it was actually you were playing as kids, like legitimately kids, and the idea was little kids surviving the zombie apocalypse. And I thought at the time that sounded like a really neat idea. And there was a little bit of that. Did either you? Addy, you probably didn't. They may not have shown it over there, and Pink, you may not have grown up with this either because it may have been satanic. But did either of you guys grow up with the cartoon Kids Next Door?
Yes.
Or codename Kids Next Door?
I've heard of it and I've seen images of it.
Like, the cartoon codename Kids Next Door, the gimmick was it was little kids fighting against various evils, which largely consisted of homework or what have you. And they would beat them with, like, the joke, it was kind of like the gimmick that they were like secret agent kids, and their gadgets were stuff like a series of 2x4s assembled in the shape of a pistol that just squeeze a mustard ball to squirt people with mustard, shit like that. Very childish. Nonetheless, when you're a kid, it seemed cool. It reminded me a lot of that at the time. And yeah, not exactly what the game wound up being.
Yeah.
Apparently not.
It's Ezio Auditore driving around Canada Hyuga in his Ferrari, which
Yeah,
like it's one of those things where like
Superman and John Wick are in the back.
yeah, fucking people talking about J. Jonah Jameson. I'm forgetting his name, his superhero name.
Omni-Man.
Yeah, Omni-Man. Yeah, people say like I actually saw this tweet. I think it was a joke. I don't know though, but I saw this tweet of someone going, Omni-Man isn't that powerful. I just shot him in Fortnite,
Yeah.
and that's great. I love that.
Oh boy. So that was that where people got the thing of Omni-Man throwing it back?
Maybe, I don't know.
I don't know where all the memes originated surrounding Omni-Man's ass.
I know that the pose is the break the internet. Was that Nicki Minaj or Kim
No,
K?
that was Kim Kardashian.
But it could have been either of them, that pose. I feel like I remember. Like I remember that Kim Kardashian's break the world image was photoshopped to be a hot dog. But I don't think it was that pose. In which case, I think that yeah.
There was certainly a like unnatural oily sheen on her in that picture. Yes. Similar to when you pull the hot dog out of the packet and it's covered in the hot dog juice.
Yeah. But I guess if not that, then it might have been Nicki Minaj's like Anaconda cover or something like that. One of her album covers. That is the pose.
The picture I'm thinking of for Omni-Man is taken from the back, whereas if memory serves, the break the internet shot was taken from the side.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The Nicki Minaj thing, the Anaconda cover was from the back, if memory serves.
I've ever seen the cover to that. I've seen the music video, but I don't think I've ever seen the cover. Also, it should be noted that one of these is affected. Oh, hair. I forgot what I was going to say.
Yep,
right.
the Omni-Man pose is the cover to Anaconda.
Okay.
Well, slightly tweaked, but yes.
Right. I was going to say I should know that one of these is considerably more safe for work than the other.
Oh, the only difference is
As
that
if it would be possible to be more safe for work than Anaconda, or less safe for work. Excuse me, less. Good lord, there we go.
but yeah,
More. Yeah, it's totally impossible to be more safe for work than Anaconda. Yeah.
yeah,
It's impossible to get fired for looking at that at work.
Yeah, the only difference between the two that I can think of, although I haven't seen the Omni-Man meme pose in a while, but the Anaconda pose has her hand in front of her ass, so there's a line going down in front of it instead of just full ass. But that's like the only difference.
I want to say the Omni-Man meme, he's not, but I think we're doing a lot more research on this than anyone else has. So anyways, I think they were incorrect to nerf Omni-Man's ass.
Yeah. Okay, I just checked. Yes, the Omni-Man S pose is slightly different in that Omni-Man doesn't have his arm cover his ass.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
So when are they adding Buff Riku to Fortnite?
Who?
Well, they already added Buff Peter Griffin.
So Pink, there's this image. It's a meme image from I don't know when. Probably fucking.
I need to stop asking these questions.
You didn't even ask this time. He's just like. I don't think it needs much explanation either. It's funny because the twink is buff. And there it is. So that's
Delightful.
that is just what's his face is Captain America. That's just Liefeld's Captain America.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The big old boobies.
I mean, my favorite thing is that it keeps in line with the traditional bodybuilding thing of making it look like your head is photoshopped on a buff body.
Yeah. I'll be honest, even that doesn't apply there. Even if you take the traps out and do the whole, like, well, if you cut out the traps, then it's a normal person. Even with the traps cut out, that's still considerably bigger than Riku.
Yeah, true.
So it helps that Riku's 17.
Yeah.
No, wait, Riku's a year older than Sora, isn't he?
Oh, yes. Which would make him 17 as of Kingdom Hearts 3, yes.
Would he?
Yes, if memory serves, I actually watched a video where someone ran down the ages because Nomura confirmed Sora's birthday and his age throughout the games, and it's like Sora and Kairi are 14 and Riku is 15 in 1, and then in 2 they're 15 and 16, and then that would mean that in 3 Riku is 17 and Sora and Kairi are 16, I think.
Huh. I thought it was up by like a year or two. Either which way, I remember that like Sora's getting pretty close to adulthood, which is weird.
Yeah. Finally, he's growing into his voice.
Yeah.
After his balls suddenly dropped in fucking Chain of Memories.
Oh yeah. I mean, like it adds to the like part of the joy of Kingdom Hearts is supposed to be the coming of age element,
yeah,
and that adds to that. But it sticks out super hard that Haley Joel Osment also came of age at the same time.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Oh, where even were we? Before Fortnite, I guess.
I suppose so, but also I think we're just about good to wrap it up here.
Probably. Oh yeah, Pink.
So, any last comments?
Pink,
Shut up.
the gun stuff. How did they fix that?
Hell if I know.
Oh, yeah, because I was gonna ask, since it was supposed to be like design stuff where the developers changed something else, but it still fixed the issue. Like, how did that giving the ACOG to the bed
They
gun?
just deleted airplane from their map rotation, and then the boss GA combination was forgotten for all of time.
I
But I
see.
still remember. I'll never
The
forget.
problem is that we have a fun map.
Yeah.
That's the disease here.
The problem is mute. Fuck him.
The problem is that we have healers. Let's fix that.
Yeah.
Fucking Zenyatta, why'd we make him?
Fucking Zenyatta, how do they work?
Blizzard's one regret for all the things they've done, the one thing they regret is making Zenyatta.
Yeah.
They would do it all again the exact same way, except Zenyatta. The only mistake they have made, in their view.
There's only one thing worse than they have done than Zenyatta. Lucio.
Yeah. And some Blizzard executive saying this while sipping on stolen breast milk.
Yeah. Mercy is in the corner, whimpering, shaking.
The executive is also wearing assless chaps.
Yeah. In front of the executive, there's a paper. There's just a list of all of the names, and he's just writing "gay" next to all of them.
The names of the characters or his workers?
I mean, either could work.
All right. So there you go. Every time a game balance discussion comes up, it is without fail. We hit Rainbow Six, For Honor, Overwatch, DBD.
Oh yeah.
And we haven't played 3 of those games in years.
Yeah. All right. Well then.
Well
I
then.
suppose now would be a good time. Oh, what'd you say?
Great bear! Raise some hell! Beat Deborah!
316. Hey.
All right, bye.
No, you do. I'll Stone Cold say all that then.